The content of this podcast is provided for general informational purposes only and is not intended as, nor should it be considered a substitute for professional medical advice.
Hello, this is Karen Nickel, family nurse practitioner, and you are listening to Itchy and Bitchy, a podcast that provides answers to your many unanswered health questions. Before I get started, I want to remind you about my course called The Perimenopause Answer. If you are going through this phase of life called perimenopause, or if you're not sure if you're in perimenopause, I would love to have the opportunity to talk to you about the course to see if it's the right fit for you. I have really enjoyed getting to know many of you, and I'm so grateful to you for listening to and sharing the podcast. There is a link on our website, itchyandbitchy.com, and our Facebook page, IMB Podcast, where you can schedule an appointment for a Zoom call with me. When you make an appointment, I will be sitting at my desk waiting for you to join the one-on-one Zoom call. Speaking of the course, one of my course members asked me about grounding. What it is, what it does, and is it real? Grounding, also called earthing, is a technique some people use to connect their physical bodies to the Earth's electrical energy. The Earth is electronically active with lots of electrons floating on the surface. The human body naturally absorbs electricity from the Earth, which produces changes in our bodies that may support our health. Long ago, we were much more connected to our Earth. Our ancestors spent more time outdoors with their feet and bodies directly on the ground. But now, most people have very little direct contact with the Earth. As a result, our bodies build up positive static electric charges that can't be released unless we connect to the ground. Grounding neutralizes those positive charges in our body by absorbing negative electrons from the Earth, creating a balance of the positive and negative charges. On previous episodes, I've talked about damaging free radicals that we have in our bodies. Well, those free radicals have a positive charge, and when we are grounded, the negative electrons we absorb work as natural antioxidants that neutralize the positively charged free radicals that can damage your body. Exposure to the electrons is vital for functioning at your best. It can improve your sleep, it can heal wounds, and reduce inflammation linked to a variety of health problems. This electrical conduction may lead to various physical effects, including pain reduction, changes in immune response, wound healing, effects on inflammation, and possible prevention and treatment of autoimmune diseases and chronic inflammatory conditions. To many people, the idea of grounding or earthing may sound unusual. Or, if you're interested, you may wonder how exactly to ground yourself. Well, there are multiple ways to perform grounding. Grounding exercises include standing or walking barefoot or pressing your bare hands into the grass or dirt. So grounding and its health benefits have existed for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine, Aboriginal cultures, and indigenous communities. In the 1800s, well-known German scientists began proposing walking barefoot for health benefits. Today, examples of grounding can be found all over social media, including TikTok and YouTube. Beyond legend and anecdotal evidence, a growing body of research supports and explores the physiologic effects and possible health benefits of grounding. Researchers have published studies to document the benefits of grounding, though there's not a huge amount of definitive evidence to show that it can actually prevent health ailments. A lot of evidence does show changes in the body with several minutes of connecting to the ground or using a grounding product. In a 2020 report, the authors state that they believe grounding can counteract cardiovascular, respiratory, neurodegenerative, autoimmune conditions, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. According to the Earthing Institute, time connected to the ground can improve sleep, lower inflammation, ease stress, improve blood flow, and boost physical healing, to name just a few benefits. I'm going to talk about inflammation first. One of the biggest known benefits of earthing is its ability to lower inflammation, which is linked to a lot of diseases and pain. One study looked at known inflammatory markers in the blood of people who grounded compared to those who didn't. The markers linked to inflammation went down in the people who participated in earthing more than those who didn't get grounded. Blood flow is also positively affected. A 2023 report compared grounding and not grounding in people who had a COVID-19 infection. The people with COVID-19 who tried grounding didn't have blood clots, while those who were non-grounded did. In a study of people who did yoga on grounding yoga mats, yes, those exist. Anyway, those who did yoga on grounding yoga mats for 1 hour, those on the mats had lower blood thickness, making it easier for the blood to flow through the body. Higher blood thickness is linked to diabetes, cardiovascular disease, metabolic syndrome, obesity, and high blood pressure. Better blood flow can also speed wound healing. A 2015 study showed that grounding reduces or even prevents the cardinal signs of inflammation, including redness, heat, swelling, pain, and loss of function that can happen following an injury. Also, better blood flow may have benefits for the face and skin. There's a plus. A small study found grounding was an effective technique to lower blood pressure as well. Sleep improvement has also been observed when grounding techniques are used. This is something my course member asked me about. One study found grounded people had lower nighttime levels of cortisol. You know, I've talked a bunch about cortisol on this podcast. Too much of the hormone can have negative effects on your health. A normal cortisol pattern is for the level to be highest at 8 a.m. so you get up and get going, and the lowest at night so you sleep. In the study, grounding helped align cortisol levels in a natural 24-hour circadian rhythm better than those in the study who were not grounded. A regular circadian rhythm is linked to a better health. A disrupted rhythm can also raise your risk for diabetes, obesity, blood pressure problems, and more. Sounding very familiar, isn't it? Grounding is linked to better restorative sleep and better relaxation. Even a study on grounding in people with Alzheimer's disease showed it helped with sleep. Your heart rate varies constantly, but heart rate variability that's too low is linked to cardiovascular events. I know this may sound confusing because it seems like having a low heart rate variability would be a good thing, but I'll try to explain it. When someone has a high heart rate variability, that person's body can better cope with danger, stress, and anxiety, and the body has the ability to calm down afterwards. The body is able to react quickly and calm down quickly when exposed to stress. A low heart rate variability indicates the body isn't able to manage stressful situations well. So in general, low heart rate variability is considered a sign of current or future health problems because it shows your body is less resilient and struggles to handle changing situations. I may just have to do a future podcast on heart rate variability. One small study saw heart rate variability improvements after just 20 minutes of grounding, and it got even better when people grounded longer. Anxiety is also linked to lower heart rate variability, so earthing may be a useful therapy for that as well. Some research in rats has shown that grounding can ease stress levels, but we don't have many studies on humans. 2 small trials in humans found that grounding improved levels of stress, which can contribute to anxiety. One report found that earthing at night improved thyroid hormone levels, and healthy thyroid levels are key to having good health. In another experiment, some people in the study who had thyroid problems and were on thyroid replacement like Synthroid or Levoxyl or levothyroxine had to lower the dosing of their thyroid medication after grounding, suggesting that grounding may be able to restore some thyroid function. Other health benefits of grounding that have been studied include improved mood, improved immune system function, particularly the concentrations of white blood cells and cytokines, reduced post-exertion muscle soreness, reduced pain, boosted metabolic rate, reduced autoimmune triggers, disease prevention, particularly inflammatory and autoimmune conditions, reduced stress, improved physical function and energy, and decreased fatigue and tiredness. Coming up, I'll let you know ways to ground yourself after this quick break. So what do we do here? How do we ground ourselves if we're going to do that outside? Well, again, the goal of grounding is to restore an electrical connection with the earth. And this connection is believed to have been lost in our modern industrial society, in which people spend most of their time wearing shoes with rubber soles or living indoors. To practice grounding outdoors, your bare skin must have direct contact with the earth, which means taking off your shoes and socks. Ways to practice grounding outdoors include routinely walking barefoot outdoors on dirt, grass, stone, or sand, standing in humid dirt or sand with bare feet, pressing your bare hands into the grass or earth, sitting on a chair, bench, or wheelchair with your bare feet set flat on the earth, lying flat on the dirt, grass, sand, or gravel with your back, legs, or arms bare. Submerging yourself in a natural body of water, such as swimming in a pond, lake, or ocean, and gardening with your bare hands in the soil. If you have a yard, you may prefer to practice earthing in the privacy of your property, or you may visit a park or woodland trail or swim at a public beach. In some countries, there are even barefoot parks. If you are uncomfortable walking in public without shoes, consider bringing a small bag to store your shoes in after you walk to a private spot where you can take your shoes off. Some people report that they see benefits within 24 hours after grounding, while others may notice changes after a few weeks. However, some say that you need to spend at least 15 to 20 minutes in prolonged skin contact with the earth before you start to experience noticeable benefits such as pain relief and relaxation. Others recommend spending 30 minutes a day standing, walking, or lying on the ground. Either way, doing this regularly, not just your annual beach trip, is key. However, in today's busy Western society, it is not often that people want to or are able to walk outside barefoot unless they're at the beach. As a solution, grounding tools have been developed to provide the same electrical conduction as biological grounding. These include specialized mats, wrist or ankle bands, sheets or mattress covers, adhesive patches, and footwear. The products are conductive, so your body can absorb electrons. To work, these tools are typically connected to the earth by a cord attached to a grounded electrical wall outlet into just that grounding hole on the outlet, not the slots that the regular plug goes into. Or the grounding is done using a rod that's connected to the wire and pressed directly into the soil. Earthing cords, or also called grounding rods, are used to connect grounding products directly into the ground when an outlet isn't available. You just clip it onto the earthing product and push the rod into moist soil. You can run the cord through an open window or door and it shouldn't get damaged. If you do place a plug into an outlet, make sure it's properly grounded. You can see if it's correctly grounded with an outlet checker. Some product manufacturers include them when you are buying an earthing item or you can buy them separately on an earthing site for about $12. You can also find them online or pick one up at a hardware store. Earthing mats can go under your feet while you sit or stand, or on your desk so that it touches your hands and arms as you work. Many people sit and meditate on grounding mats. You can also, as I said, find yoga mats with grounding technology in them. Grounding sheets include a conductive material, usually silver or carbon, woven into the fiber. The material is connected to a wire that can be grounded through a wall outlet, or the wire can go out a window or door directly outside, and the attached rod is put into the ground, and you sleep directly on the sheets. The Earthing Institute, an organization I mentioned earlier, reports that silver can become oxidized due to washing and sweat, so the sheets may not be as effective over time as other products. Another option is an earthing mattress pad. When you use the mattress pad, you can sleep on it directly or place it under sheets. Some manufacturers say that there should only be one layer between your body and the mattress pad to maximize conductivity. So if you put it under the sheet, like a fitted sheet, you need to have some bare skin exposed so you don't have two layers of fabric between you and the mattress pad. Grounding socks also contain conductive materials like silver to allow your body to absorb electrons from the earth. There are two kinds of grounding socks. The first type works by plugging them into an outlet, or use the wire included and put the metal rod into the ground directly. The second kind of grounding sock is made out of material that attracts electrons so your body can absorb them. This type of sock doesn't have a wire, so your feet have to be in contact with the earth when wearing them for them to work. You can wear these socks outdoors directly on the ground if you don't want to go out there barefoot. Earthing shoes have a conductive plug at the sole of the shoe near the ball of your foot to allow electrons to pass into your body. Again, these have to be plugged into the grounding portion of an outlet. Companies like Harmony 783 make shoes that do not have to be plugged in, but to get the grounding benefit, you do have to wear them on natural earth surfaces like sand, dirt, gravel, stone, and grass. So they're good for hiking or outdoor walking on those natural surfaces. Another way to bring electrons into your body is to attach a sticky patch onto your skin. The patch snaps onto a cord that can be plugged into a grounding port of an outlet. So that may be a problem if you tend to have adhesive sensitivity, but that is an option that's available. There are some pros and cons of grounding indoors. You can practice grounding indoors with specialized tools, but there are those pros and cons. Unlike walking barefoot, some, but not all, of these tools have associated costs. However, using these tools can make a routine grounding practice more accessible and convenient for some people. This is because they can be worn inside on the feet, ankles, and wrists during the day or slept on at night. Many people state that there is a spiritual aspect of grounding, including feelings of peace, meditation, and contentment that is experienced after a grounding session. Often, grounding is seen as a way to connect to Mother Earth or a greater force and to return to a simpler way of life that was lived in a more synchronous pattern with our planet. There are some negative side effects of earthing. You may raise your risk for injury, infection, or allergic reactions from walking barefoot or earthing in open water. And walking barefoot on uneven ground could put you at risk for tripping or falling. If you decide on indoor grounding, don't use a plug-in product during a thunderstorm, as it puts you at risk for electrocution, which we don't want. Again, it is recommended that you check outlets with a grounding device because wiring that's not properly functioning could cause an electric shock. If you're pregnant, have contact allergies, immune system problems, existing nerve damage, or issues with your feet, it is recommended that you check with your healthcare provider before you start grounding. If you don't feel well after a grounding session, stop earthing and contact your healthcare professional. Some people feel a tingling when they start spending more time connected to the earth or using a grounding product, and that is a normal finding. Most of the studies on grounding are small studies, but perhaps as earthing gains recognition, the research to explore its health benefits will also advance. The general consensus is that you may feel some health benefits such as improved mood and energy within one session of grounding, but consistent practice for as many days as possible throughout a lifetime is ideal. Grounding is an ancient practice in which the body is directly connected to the Earth's surface and experiences electrical conduction due to the Earth's natural negative electric charge. Putting the body in this state is believed to lead to many possible health benefits. Thank you for listening to and for sharing the podcast with others. If you listen using the Apple Podcast app, please leave a review and rate the podcast. Your reviews and ratings really do matter. I encourage you to visit our Facebook page, IMB Podcast, where you can leave comments or questions for me. Our website is itchyandbitchy.com, where there are blogs with some of our subjects available for you to read. On the Facebook page and website, we have the information about how to schedule an appointment with me so that we can chat about my perimenopause course and see if it can help you as you are going through this phase in life. As always, thanks to Forrest Winsel, our producer and composer of our theme music, and the person who does all the behind-the-scenes work to make this podcast possible. Thank you, Forrest. Check out his album called An Awful Lot. Go to wherever you stream your favorite music to listen. And if you don't know where to stream music, you can find the album on Apple Music or Spotify. Remember, your health is in your hands.